Good morning, how you doing? My name is Ricky M. Jackson. The reason for this video is an informative speech that I have to make on a course that I'm taking. And the subject for this video is in regards to being a merchant mariner under the U.S. Coast Guard. And it's quiet as kept. I have expired identification right now. All right, I've been with the U.S. Coast Guard as a merchant mariner since a week or two of 9/11, before a week or two of 9/11. And what my issue is that I joined the Coast Guard's merchant mariner for the pay. And keep in mind, before I joined them there, I had joined the Coast Guards as a youth. Took some course, the first day CPR, that was Coast Guard clearance. Then I also took scuba diving class that wasn't with the U.S. Coast Guard, but it was with the YMCA. I got certification in that, and then I also got certification for wildland firefighting also. But that was all combined. Went above. So I got to New Orleans, Louisiana, and when I got to New Orleans, I joined them, and when I joined them at the time, I was working for a company called Grady, Bro, and Evans Temporary Service. And while I was working with them, the temporary service, they had me moving around, doing all different kind of jobs, whatever I wanted to get involved with. From some of the majority of the jobs that I was doing had to do with the Coast Guard, like dishwashing, being a wiper, stewardess, ordinary worker or seaman, whatever that is. Okay, and as I did that, I was informed that for me to make the big money, that I had to go offshore and join Seafair. But keep in mind that at the time, the money that I was making was just enough money for me to pay my bills when I was living in West Wego, and the boarding house that I was living in, that other man. And so I was seeking knowledge on how to do this, and they was giving me the runaround. The woman that I was seeking information for, that worked at customer service at the Regional Examination Center, was A.A. Reed or Anita Vincent. I mean, the same person, same name, might have been twin sisters, but they was using that information. Okay, so she told me what to do, and I was doing it. And then as I kept trying to go, I couldn't get offshore. I couldn't get offshore, and I couldn't get to the Seafair. The reason I couldn't get to the Seafair to get certification is because it was in another state, and I needed the money to, I think it was like $800, $1,500 to do that. Okay, but that's when you join the Coast Guard, quiet as kept, is that you supposed to pick up pay every month or a certain amount when you get certification. But they didn't do none of that. They didn't let me do none of that. So when they didn't let me do none of that, I kept trying to hustle, kept trying to do that labor to pull in that money, and they liked my labor because they kept me working. But then as I started working in superstructure deck. One of the superstructure decks that I was working in New Orleans was solid calf. And then I was working on tourist boats. So I suppose I picked up, but working on tourist boats and working at solid calf on the superstructure deck, I suppose that supposed to made that Coast Guard money right there also, which they didn't give me none of that either. And then I found out that, the superstructure decks, you got the river. From the river, you got the sea, and then from the sea, you got the ocean. But that's when they want you to, when you want to go out there and make that hazardous pay. But then you also had a hazardous pay inland, to where that you work inside of institutions, mental institution and correctional institutions, where you doing the same thing as you working on a boat or working somewhere else, to where you're doing laundry, you cleaning up, you cooking for people and doing all that stuff. Like in institutions, the correctional institutions, you got to make 3 meals a day through the catering company that's subcontracting with the institution. When you're working with them, and then you're doing laundry for all them inmates, what the regional examiners found out, or was doing, they was moonlighting in there, pulling that money and not informing us about it, or letting us do it. And all the money that I made, I didn't receive none of that from the U.S. Coast Guard, none whatsoever. They said I can't pull none of that money because I'm not considered a veteran. And by me not being considered a veteran, that I don't receive no pension from the Veteran Administration, and any money that I supposed to made with the Coast Guards, they don't have no knowledge of it. But then when I found out, they had people using my information with the Coast Guards. I was standing right next to a person that had my credential in my information, saying he was Ricky M. Jackson. But I couldn't sweat that at the time because of the situation that I'm in. So I'm trying to get some feedback on how to deal with this situation and resolve this issue with these funds, so I can collect my funds on what's going already, what I have done before I enlist again and get my identification recertified. This video once again is for a informative speech. An informative speech has to do with a course that I'm taking. But if you can give me some feedback on this issue right here and get this straightened out so I can know which route to take and to get this money that I'm supposed to get, because it's stressful. It's really stressful, and I need them funds. I gotta eat, and I got things to take care of, my wants and needs. Thank you. Have a good day. I hope this has been helpful, and I hope you can be helpful for me also. Have a good one. Bye.